Greetings and welcome to another episode of Time Traveler, the 1940s. Today we have a very special featured guest. You may not have heard of her name, but you may have heard her voice in popular culture somewhere. Today our feature is none other than French singer Edith Piaf. Edith Giovanna Gassion was born on December 19, 1915, in Paris, France. She was abandoned by her mother at birth, living for a brief time with her maternal grandmother Emma. Her father enlisted in the French army in 1916 to do his part in World War I. He took Edith to his own mother in Normandy, who ran a brothel. It was not a very big brothel, about maybe 8 to 10 girls. But they took Edith on as an honorary daughter, sister, and friend. The sub-mistress of the brothel, Madame Gaby, the closest thing to family that Edith had ever known, was also the godmother of Edith's half-sister, Denise, who was born in 1931. From ages 3 to 7, it is said that Edith contracted keratitis and lost a majority of her vision in both eyes. A pilgrimage to see Sainte Thérèse of Lisieux was later credited with the miraculous healing of her eyes. In 1929, a 14-year-old Edith was taken on tour with her father, who had undertaken the art of acrobatic street performance. Edith sang at every stop and began to enjoy the art of performance. When Edith was 15, she met Simone Berthoud, lovingly known as Maman, who may have been her half-sister, and became a companion of Edith's for life. They toured together, singing in the streets and making money of their own. Before long, the girls were able to rent their own room at the Grand Hotel du Clermont. Several years later, Edith met a young man named Louis Dupont and fell in love. Before too long, Edith had moved Louis into the small room that the girls had been sharing. Louis did not appreciate Edith working in the streets and encouraged her to apply for jobs that he had found for her. She resisted until she became pregnant and needed the stability and safety of a job indoors. She accepted a job at a factory making wreaths. In February of 1933, 17-year-old Edith gave birth to her daughter Marcelle, who was nicknamed Cecile. Much like her own mother, Edith had little experience with children and was finding motherhood extremely challenging. She returned to street performance as soon as humanly possible and continued her performances until the summer of 1933. Edith and Louis had a rather large argument over her behavior in public, which prompted Edith to leave him, taking Maman and Marcelle with her. Eventually, Dupont found Edith and took baby Marcelle back home with him. He asked her to come home and raise the child, and although Edith sent money to help Marcelle, she never returned. Marcelle died from meningitis at the age of 2. In 1935, Edith was singing in a Parisian nightclub. The owner, Louis Leplay, persuaded her to sing on stage, despite a great deal of nervousness. He instructed her on the finer points of stage etiquette and told her that she would wear a simple black dress, which became a trademark of hers. He gave her the nickname La Môme Piaf, Paris slang for the waif sparrow or small sparrow. Leplay took it upon himself to market Edith as an up-and-coming star of the stage, attracting many celebrities to the nightclub. Edith's opening night garnered her 2 record deals and a launch into success as the new songstress of Paris. However, the success was short-lived. Club owner Leplay was found murdered on April 6, 1936. Edith was known to spend time with him and quickly became a suspect. Although it was a traumatic moment, she was acquitted. It became apparent that Leplay had previous mob ties and that his death had been a professional hit. Even so, the bad publicity was a blow to her young career. Edith's next romantic interest, Raymond Asso, began working with her and revamping her image in order to separate her from the negative media attention. He officially took her previous nickname and changed her stage name to Edith Piaf. He made sure that undesirable audience members were banned from Edith's shows, and he hired someone to write songs for Edith that reference her previous life as a street performer. It worked, and Edith's career finally took off. In 1940, Edith starred in Jean Cocteau's one-act play, Le Bel Indifférent. It was a wonderful boost to her exposure with the public. She began to meet new people, including Yves Montand, with whom she began a relationship at the Moulin Rouge. In 1947, Edith wrote a song for Yves Montand that would bring him very close to her level of stardom. He became a very well-known cabaret singer using Edith's new and intense song style. Right around that time that Montand was reaching a similar level of popularity as Edith, she ended the relationship, although it isn't implied that his success had anything to do with the split. At this point in time, Edith was wildly successful and beloved to thousands of fans. Throughout the war, Edith's music traveled the globe. By the end of World War II, she was well known internationally. She helped launch the careers of Argentinian folk musician Hector Roberto Chavero and French singer Charles Aznavour in the early 1950s. When she made her own United States debut, audiences were taken aback by how simple and sleek her presentation was. They expected something a bit more spectacular, and some were even disappointed by her small stature and classic little black dress. Edith was a mere 4 foot 8 inches tall. Her most iconic song, which is synonymous with romantic French vibes in our modern popular culture, La Vie en Rose, was written by Edith Piaf in 1945 and was awarded a Grammy Hall of Fame award in 1998. In Europe, during the German occupation in France, Edith's career took on a great deal of momentum. She not only performed in nightclubs, but also popular brothels where officials spent a great deal of time. She was even invited to tour Berlin, sponsored by German officials. By 1942, she was able to afford a luxury flat in one of Paris's upscale neighborhoods. Her new home was above a nightclub, but it was also very close to the Gestapo headquarters in Paris. Her close affiliation to the German officials put Edith under suspicion, and she was accused of being a traitor and collaborator. She was forced to testify before a panel and threatened with the banning of her radio broadcasts. Despite this negative experience, Edith performed in several prisoner of war camps and was known to be instrumental in the escape of a number of prisoners. She used her favor among the Nazi officials to help those in life-threatening positions. One story speaks of Piaf sponsoring the move of Jewish composer Michael Emer to France before the occupation. He remained there and safe throughout the war. By 1944, Edith was performing everywhere again, including a concert with Montand and Marseille performing for the Allied forces. As the 1940s closed, she received a lovely surprise when a good review in the New York Herald Tribune by the influential critic Virgil Thompson brought positive exposure to Edith once again. She appeared at Carnegie Hall twice, once in 1956 and once in 1957. She managed to appear on The Ed Sullivan Show an impressive 8 times. Her personal affairs, however, were often tragic and short-lived. The love of her life, boxer Marcel Cerdan, died in a plane crash as he flew from New York City to Paris to meet her. Their affair made national headlines. In 1951, Piaf was in a serious car crash. Friend Charles Aznavour was present as well. She broke 2 ribs and 1 arm, leaving her with an addiction to morphine and alcohol. Subsequently, she was in 2 more car crashes, which made her difficulties with substance abuse even more profound. Friend and fellow French singer Jacques Pils personally took her to rehabilitation 3 times. She ended up marrying Pils, whose birth name was René Ducos, on September 20th, 1952. Her matron of honor was none other than Marlene Dietrich. She and Marlene had a legendary best friendship that lasted a lifetime. By 1957, she and Jacques were divorced. Her second husband was Théo Sarapo, a former hairdresser, actor, and singer, whom she married on October 9th, 1962 at age 46. Sarapo was 26 at the time, and sadly, she would pass away only a year into their marriage, leaving Sarapo with a staggering debt. In addition to the addictions that stemmed from near-fatal car accidents, Piaf developed other health issues that exacerbated her use of painkillers and medications to help her sleep. She suffered from rheumatoid arthritis, insomnia, and stomach ulcers. She underwent a number of surgeries in 1959 and required a blood transfusion. For many months, Edith could not function normally and was barely conscious for a good portion of her life. She lost a significant amount of weight, reaching a low of 66 pounds, or 30 kilograms. Her body finally gave out, and she passed away at the age of 47 on October 10th, 1963, in her villa on the French Riviera. No autopsy was performed, and it was speculated that the cause of death was liver failure due to cancer and cirrhosis of the liver. Edith was buried in Père Lachaise Cemetery in Paris, next to her daughter Marcelle's grave. Her funeral procession drew over 10,000 mourners. Friend Charles Aznavour recalled that it was the only time that he remembered Parisian traffic coming to a complete halt since the end of World War II. Several memorial masses and media publications have been dedicated to Edith on the anniversaries since her passing. There's even a small museum dedicated to her memory in Paris. Edith Piaf's life has also been honored in various books, pieces of music, and in a short list of films, one of which is fairly recent, and I will try to at least include a little clip of and make sure that you have appropriate links if you'd like to check that out. As always, I have included a variety of clips and links that further exemplify the life and work of Edith Piaf. She has an extensive catalog of songs released between 1933 and 1963. I own Piaf collections myself, and I find that they are some of the most unique songs in an extensive collection. She had a distinct voice and a style that is unmistakable. Perhaps you can make your own playlist of Edith Piaf favorites and find your own romantic Parisian aesthetic to honor her memory. Hers was a short life, but she has left a mark on our world that I felt was worth mentioning. I hope you enjoyed learning about Edith and her work. Thank you, as always, for your support. I am praying that everyone has a blessed 2023. It's hopefully a year that will bring a multitude of happy surprises and positive growth to everyone I know. I think we deserve a year dominated by good news and calm moments of gratitude and peace. I love you all for sticking with me as we have just passed on January 5th my channel's 3-year anniversary. Bringing a vintage flair to my Sims 4 games has continued to be a blessing to me and a fun outlet, and I am grateful for that. I hope I can continue to do that for just a little bit longer and see where this new year heads for the channel. I do have some new ideas. I do have some ideas in other directions as well that are not fully Simstress based projects, and I think some of you may have already gotten a little sampling of that, but we'll see. We'll see how that pans out. Anyway, thank you all again for your support. Happy New Year to you all. I know we're well into the new year, and there's been a lot of insane weather, especially in the US. Just crazy. Be safe out there. Be warm. In some cases, not too warm, because it's also not felt like winter in my part of the country, and that's kind of sad. I miss winter right about now. It should be snowy and chilly, and just, it should be a cozy time of year, and we're missing some of that, unfortunately. But I hope that you do have a happy and safe new year. I hope that you are having a great experience with everything that you've set out to do. If you have resolutions, I hope those are going well so far. If you don't do resolutions, blessings in general. I hope you're all very, very well. I am still hoping to complete 2 more episodes of the Time Traveler 1940 series. I myself have been dealing with several weeks of personal stuff, just health-wise and otherwise, that I am trying to manage holistically and in the best way possible to maintain a positive attitude and stay strong and keep up with all of my work, including all of my personal stuff, which I have my own business, and that kind of takes up a lot of time. So if you've noticed a huge gap between episodes, that is part of it. But everything is going great. I'm very grateful for all the improvements and all of the beautiful new blessings and people in my life. And I do hope this is the coziest and happiest year, and that we do all find something we've never had before that blesses each and every one of us. Until next time, I hope that you will remain happy and healthy, enjoy the tour of the home, and have a beautiful day.